Hello and welcome back to the 13th episode of the Veganless podcast. Today we have Rob from Ghillepuck. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's it going? I'm Rob from Ghillepuck. Um, Glad to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We've kind of talked about this for a little bit and finally able to make it happen. So
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, definitely had some delays on my end there trying to get in. Busy.
It
We got a
happens.
4-month old too, so it's been a little crazy
Oh,
with the 2-year-old and the 4-month old. But yeah,
fun
man,
times.
glad we absolutely got a chance to link up, man. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I always like to start this off with, do you have one piece of advice you'd give a new hunter?
Oh, hmm. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to learn from. Yeah, don't be afraid to learn from somebody who's willing to teach and yeah, reach out. Ask anybody. More people would love to tell you their experience and tips and tricks.
hmm
Yeah, some things that would definitely have helped me getting started for sure, since I was a late starter myself.
When did you start hunting?
I started officially hunting in 2018. I got my
Yeah.
bow license. I've hunted a little bit before that, never been successful. Didn't really
hmm
take it serious. I grew up in a town where hunting was pretty popular, but none of my immediate friends were
hmm
hunters. My neighbor was a big hunter, still is, and he's the one who kind of, I borrowed his rifle one day for bear season. I mean, we
hmm
grew up shooting cans and everything like that. So,
hmm
um, but yeah, after the Marine Corps is when I really dove into bow hunting.
hmm
Yeah, and I've just been a bow hunter ever since. And that's all.
Yeah,
That's pretty much all I do now.
it's so much fun, or at least rewarding, and just the whole
Yeah.
experience is something else. Boutique, Unreal, what's up, brother? It's been a bit. So, yeah, what does your normal season kind of look like? Um,
Yeah, man. My normal season, well, since the launch of Ghillepuck,
mhm,
it's been pretty I guess not as enjoyable as far
yeah.
as time in the woods, for sure. Yeah, I spend a lot of time just because I'm kind of the one that directly deals with the
hmm
customer service aspect of it. So it's pretty hard to be able to respond to people. I mean, that's kind of what we pride ourselves on too, is just being the small family business.
hmm
So customer service is super important. So at that comes a cost, and that's usually less time in the woods, more time making sure people are getting their product for them to get out
hmm
in the woods. So it's a love hate come season, because it's as much as I dream about it being there, I also know that it's kind of
The
a
busy
double edged
time too.
sword. Yeah, it's going to pull me away. And I'm super grateful that the product is able to help others that were in the same situation as me.
hmm
So it's again, it's a very love hate. I love the fact that I am able to do this and create this thing that does people do find beneficial.
hmm
At the same time, I do get a little jealous of them being out in the woods using it.
Yeah.
So that's where I love to be, and that's where it all started. And
hmm
it's uh, it's my dream to keep getting back there. So
Right, and maybe as it grows and you guys expand and stuff, you'll be able to get more time back into the woods too. So,
yeah, yeah, definitely hoping to possibly bring in some people to help out this year, as we're
hmm
growing significantly. Last year was our first full year in business, so and
hmm
it was amazing. It was absolutely yeah amazing. All the supporters online and everything. Our pro staff has been awesome. So
hmm
we're definitely a growing family for sure. And yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a few more days out in the woods this year and be able to actually get some more footage and stuff like that.
right. Absolutely. So, what all kind of hunting do you do? You mentioned bear a little bit ago. What all do you hunt? Where are you located, I guess? What general area?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm up in Dutchess County, New York. It's about
Okay.
2 hours, hour and 45 north of the city. I generally just whitetail. I'm
Hmm.
actually going out turkey hunting in the morning, so just whitetail and turkey. I have yet to
Hmm.
get my first turkey, so
Feel
there
that.
is that. Yeah, yeah. I just got into turkey hunting a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
but it was kind of right as I was starting to get into turkey hunting. Um, I was also trying to get footage for Ghillepuck and trying to
Hmm.
advertise that and get the videos and everything. So it was again more focusing
Yeah.
on the business than on the hunt. So this year, I'm actually looking for. And then this year, it's been crazy with the 4 month old. So trying to get her
Hmm.
situated and everything. So I'm really hoping to tomorrow goes well. But so right now, turkey, whitetail, and bear. I've gone bear hunting a couple
Hmm.
times. Never been successful.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's whitetail's definitely my absolute passion. I
Oh
love
yeah.
whitetail hunting more than anything.
Yeah. Me as well. We don't have bear around here, so that's on the bucket list at one point. But yeah, turkey season here ended like 3 weeks ago or something, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
So that's done over with. Ate some tag soup this year. It was had close encounters, had a bunch of hens, all that fun stuff, but just didn't have a single opportunity at a Tom or even a Jake for that matter. So we'll hit it again next year.
that's it, man.
It's fun just getting out there, being in the woods and stuff. Like I said, I agree with you. Whitetail's more of my passion. Turkey is something to kill the time in between, but it's been growing on me. It's been fun. I just started last year myself, so
Yeah,
and I'm going archery. So
you're going turkey hunting archery with
yep,
the bow. Oh man, that's
yep.
amazing. See, I am. That's kind of my exception. I'd like to get into the bow aspect of it, but I would like to also get in range of a turkey first. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I was able to creep up to like 50 yards, but it was so brief. I was waiting on my buddy to get him in frame on the camera and stuff because obviously we film all of our hunts and
right.
it just didn't happen. He just strutted off into the woods, and that was that story. So I've had multiple encounters this year where I had hens come hang out for sometimes like an hour and a half or longer, just chirping away, hanging out, and nothing came in. But it is what it is.
Yeah, man. No, I've had a couple opportunities during the fall, the brief fall
Hmm.
season. But I'm like, I always get in my own head. I'm like, I'm going to take this shot, and there's going to be a buck
Yeah, right.
that I didn't see, and he's going to run
Hmm.
off. And so I've drawn back a couple times on a turkey, and they've come in,
Hmm.
and I never am able to hit the release just out of my
Hmm.
fear that
Right.
even though I'm scanning, I'm like, there's nothing
Hmm.
around me, but I'm like, I know for a fact if I let
Hmm.
that arrow fly, I'm gonna hear something, I'm gonna see something running off, or I'm gonna blow my hunt. So it's a little bit of like a superstition,
Yep. I
but I
haven't
just have
picked
to.
up a fall tag yet, but my buddy that also hunts my farm, he'll send me snaps and stuff, and it's just like the whole food plot's just full of turkey. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. No, it still doesn't beat whitetail for me. I don't know. It's
No,
just
no, no, no,
yeah,
not at all.
it
I'm
is.
with you there.
Yeah, it's just something about the whitetail season where it's like even when turkey starts, man, like
Hmm.
I'm already like starting to get I'll see it like pop up on my feed or something like that, and just a video of a buck, and then all of a sudden I start
Hmm.
going on the YouTube rabbit hole, and then I don't even exist in my household because I'm just watching. Yeah, I'm
Right.
watching every video that came out in 2000 in the past year.
Hmm. So, I mean, while you're still newer to hunting, do you have like
Yeah,
a hunting fail you want to share? Like a fun fail story?
yeah. So knock on wood, I have not missed a buck or a doe yet. Um, but I did cut my string to my bow right in the middle of the rut here. So that was
Oof.
yeah, it was my biggest buck. Um, it was my biggest buck. He came in, it was like a 4.5 year old. He comes in and
Mhm.
made my shot on him, double lung. ran probably 60 yards, dropped, and I was so excited. And I went to
Mhm.
go drag him out, and I wasn't paying attention to where my arrow was, and it just nicked my string, and I didn't realize it till I got back to the truck and I saw the fray, and I was like, "Oh man!" And so I went to my target buck that year. So we had the two tags here.
Mhm.
My target buck that year. A week I came back in my boat. My cam was off, and I didn't realize it. And I pulled into the driveway and I saw the target buck. And um, all right, so let me rewind a little bit. I said haven't missed a shot. I haven't missed a shot
Mhm.
due to
Due to you.
right, right. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, blame it on the
Mhm.
bow, but my cam was completely off the track. I mean, it launched so far away from this buck, and I was like, "There's no way." I was 20 yards away from this thing as I was pulling into my
Mhm.
the property that I hunt. He was right off, so I saw him parked. Spot stock got up. He was in
Mhm.
some tall veg. 20 yards broadside, took the shot at him, and it just launched into space. And
Oh no.
yeah, I have no idea where that arrow went, but that buck wasn't even phased. He just kept, he maybe was walking 3 miles an hour, just right by me, almost like nice shot. And yeah, I was just so bewildered as to what just happened.
Mhm.
And I had my target in the back of the truck, so I was like, "There's no way." I mean, I don't really get the shakes or anything.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Just
don't either.
yeah, it's I just never have. So I'm like, there's no way. I was a coach, marksman coach in the Marine
Mhm.
Corps too. So it's like the same fundamentals. I run it through my head, and it's so there's really not a lot of. And again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not the
Mhm.
greatest shot out there by any stretch of the imagination. I've just done it so many times, and the
Mhm.
repetitions it's kind of the same fundamentals and stuff. So anyway, I take my target out and I go to shoot at my target, and it completely misses the target, and I'm like, oh. So that was my big fail that year. And I never somebody ended up wounding him
Mhm.
um during rifle season. Somebody, I saw him walk by maybe 80 yards later
Mhm.
in the season, and big front shoulder wound, and hadn't seen him since. So that was 3 or 4 years ago. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Unfortunate.
that's my biggest fail right there. But
It's those moments that stick with you though. Like
I was just sick to my stomach. It was almost like it was the most like meant to be situation ever.
Mhm.
I was running late actually. It was like the daylight already came, and I was like, I still got to get out there, and I have like
Mhm.
a 45-minute drive. Yeah, had some bad food the night before, so
Mhm.
running a little late to the
Sure you have.
stand. The sun was coming up, and then all of a sudden I see him in the field where he's not normally as I'm coming in. It's kind of like this little maybe acre field off to the
Mhm.
right, but the grass is really tall, and I could just see his tines sticking up. I'm like, "There's no way he's right there." Put it in park,
Mhm.
walk the 100 yards into through the woods, get right up on him,
Mhm.
and 20 yards broadside, he's walking after a doe. She's just kind of moving along slow, and just, oh man, yeah, it was,
Tragic.
yeah, I just stood there on the like little log that I was standing on,
Mhm.
just, yeah, for, I don't even know, probably 10 minutes, just in total disbelief. But,
Oh no. I
uh,
think it's fun sharing fail stories and stuff though because people are used, especially new hunters and stuff. They're used to maybe just seeing like the YouTube videos of people shooting giant deer, everything going
yeah,
smoothly because it's chopped up. So I think it's nice and you know more realistic actually seeing the highs and the lows and hearing about them. And then
uh,
everyone has dumb mistakes or things that happen, but you know seeing that other people do kind of makes it a little better. I think.
yeah, no, I absolutely couldn't agree more. I think that it kind of has the same effect as like, social media with like couples see other couples and they're like, oh, it should be like
Grass is
that.
always
And then people,
greener.
right. And then people get in their head because they're watching these videos, and I'm guilty
Hmm.
of it too. And I'm like, man, every hunt should be like this. Why am I not? And I'm
Hmm.
super hard on myself. And I'm like, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other people that are, seeing, um, all these big time YouTube guys and
Hmm.
stuff out there, just smacking down giants every
Right.
single time. But like you said, it's cut up. They're not showing you tripping and, spooking their target
Hmm.
buck on the way in and all that stuff, or,
Or
making a
the
bad
80
shot.
hours they've been out sitting, like
Yeah, exactly. The 10 days
they see the
prior that
day
they
they got
aired them.
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it is very, very much, true that, it's probably a little toxic for a hunter to be sitting there, like, but
Hmm.
I'm so guilty of it, man.
Oh yeah.
I go into the woods every single time expecting to see,
Mhm.
these
This
mid
is the
these
day.
mid yeah, these Midwest bucks, and here I
Mhm.
am in New York, and an 8 pointer walks by, and I'm like, "All right."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Iowa, so I'm blessed on that account. But
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
you guys got some
it's
beauties.
still not like they say it is per se. Depending on the area, there's a lot of nice ones around, but um,
Yeah, you
yeah.
get in you get in the right parts of New York. I mean, where I am, there is a lot of farms and stuff, so they can grow.
Hmm.
Absolutely, they can grow. There is no excuse. They can grow big. A
Hmm.
lot of hunters here do take smaller bucks, which again,
Hmm.
that's absolutely all right. If they only
Their
have
tag.
a day to get out, yeah, whatever. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm
Fill
not
the
somebody
freezer.
who. That's it, man. You never know anybody's situation. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, why would you shoot that? It's
Yeah.
like, do I personally try to do better than I do last year, just because I was blessed to be able to hunt
Hmm.
on private property in New York. There is a plethora of deer here. They're like squirrels. Um,
Hmm.
so I am kind of, blessed in the aspect that I'm able to kind of pick and choose which one to let
Hmm.
go. And I know nobody's going to
Right.
hunt it next year. And so that one can,
Hmm.
potentially grow into something worthy in my eyes for a shot.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's anybody, whatever their reasoning is. If it's a 3 pointer that makes you
Hmm.
smile, man, take that shot. That's
Yeah, that's what I say. If you're hunting legally, ethically, it's your tag. If it makes you happy, go for it. Now, is that me saying go shoot spikes or stuff like that? No, it isn't. But
yeah,
do what makes you happy. Like, I personally am not, going for that type of stuff. I hunt urban season and I hunt statewide and stuff. So, urban season to me is, fill the freezer with does and stuff. And then my statewide, I'm probably hunting my farm or some public and stuff. I do a mix of both depending on the conditions. And my farm's 2 hours away, so it's just far enough that you can't run there after work and hunt. So sometimes I'll kind of mix in both or whatever. But
yeah. No,
so,
that's it, man. Yeah, sometimes you gotta. Again, it's getting late in the season.
hmm.
Like I couldn't agree more with what you just said. The ethic, as long as it's taken
Hmm.
ethically, legally, um, and you never know somebody's situation. So there's a lot
Hmm.
of that is the tough part about the hunting community. There is a lot of support, but there's also a lot of
Oh yeah,
people with
we tear each
opinions.
other apart too.
Uh
There's
it's
enough opposition against hunting that we shouldn't be tearing each other apart. Like,
yeah, it's the best and the worst space to be in simultaneously. It's the
absolutely.
it's the greatest group of guys, and it's some of the worst, and it's
Hmm.
but you know what? Just yeah, it's all about just getting out there, making memories, learning,
Hmm.
getting better, having fun.
Hmm.
That's at the end of the day. If you're doing that and you're able to fill your freezer, you're blessed enough to be able to fill your
Hmm.
freezer. Maybe get a nice set of antlers on the wall too, to nice
Yeah.
little tribute to the deer. And yeah, by all means.
Yep. I always say as well, I am so tired of in these hunting groups seeing, I know it's not the biggest butt, and then posting a picture of what they were happy to harvest. It's like, just delete that line and be happy. If you want to share it, be happy.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and it's like the worst part of social media, because
It's a
a-
pro and a con because social media really makes us,
absolutely,
but also it's toxic too.
yeah, it really is, and God, again, it's such a double edged sword because
It is.
it's everything's there's no like in the it's kind of like it's the best and the worst. You
Hmm.
have you have somebody who just took, maybe a new hunter just took his first buck on his own.
Hmm.
Maybe he goes out with his dad all the time, and now he went out on his own. He got his first buck, and he was super
Hmm.
proud of it, but then feels he has to justify why he took this buck because
Hmm.
he probably watched a video on
You
YouTube
just
where,
watched 5 videos
you
where
know,
people shot 200-inch deer. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And he's like, it's not the biggest, but it's like, damn, no, man.
Mhm.
Like, good for you. You
If
lined
it made you
everything up.
happy, yeah.
Yeah, if it made you happy, and then just the skill aspect, you should be
Hmm.
proud of yourself that you did everything right in order for
Hmm.
that situation to line up perfectly.
Hmm.
You checked your wind going in, whether you did your homework to see which way
Hmm.
they were traveling. You played a pressure system. Whatever it was. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, be happy, be proud, man. It's not a. It's not easy when you're in their house. If you're in an urban spot and the deer walking around or something, and it's not like
Hmm.
it's not like they're in someone's neighbor's yard and you're just going to feed them
Hmm.
apples and tricking them there. Like, you're in their
Hmm.
house. They have way better senses than we do. Be proud,
Hmm.
man. You earn that. You earn that harvest,
Hmm.
man or woman.
Are you a country boy? I mean, not really. I'm from a small town of like 5,000 people. I know I'm wearing a flannel, but um, I don't know. I'm a mix, I guess. I love being outdoors like the rest of us here and whitetail advantage. But at the end of the day, all hunters want to shoot the biggest buck possible. I don't know if I would say all hunters because I know a bunch that literally only give a shit about meat. But yeah, overall, I would probably agree with you. Like, okay, there's a follow up. I shouldn't say all, but 90% of hunters, the goal is to shoot the biggest buck outside of filling the freezer. Okay, so exact same point. We agree there. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I would say the goal is a lot of people want to, shoot the biggest buck as possible. And um,
yeah,
yeah, so I'm right there with you on that. But
yeah,
as we both mentioned, some people just want to fill the freezers, or maybe I only have a couple weekends to hunt this whole season because I'm busy with work or newborn or insert thing here.
yeah,
And like, I'm gonna shoot what makes me happy. Maybe I won't have another encounter or something. So I
yeah,
just try not to judge people. Like, it made them happy. I didn't buy their tag. It has no effect on me as long as they're legal and ethical.
yeah. That's it, man. Are you seeing the comments on your page?
Yeah, so there's like a little speech bubble, but there's not comments on YouTube and all that right now. This is on the Instagram live that I'm seeing these,
Uh,
and that
gotcha,
doesn't pull into the main one that you can see.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Thought
super
I thought I
weird.
was missing something there. I was like, all right,
Yeah, to go live on Instagram, it's like split. I have to do it on Instagram, and it doesn't pull it over. But yeah,
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
I think each hunter should define their own goal. Absolutely. And you're, I don't even want to say your only person you're competing with is yourself, because it doesn't have to be a competition in general. Like, but you shouldn't be comparing yourself to someone else on the internet. Like, do what makes you happy. And on that note too, there's so many people out there that just see the outcome and they're quick to say you're lucky, you don't know what you're doing, like, so on and so forth. Like, don't let that get you down because you know the work that you put in. Like, just do it for you, no one else.
yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely.
So we talked about a fail story. Do you have like a memorable hunt? Like, what's your favorite hunt?
Oh man, it's gonna be cliche, but probably my first harvest, man.
Yeah.
I think that was probably my most memorable. It was a small parcel behind my in-laws' house,
Mhm.
and the morning before, um, it's maybe 500 yards into the woods.
Mhm.
my parents were up. We were in the middle of buying our house. My parents were up. They actually stayed over there too. So I was like, hey, in the morning I'm going out hunting. Don't let we have a shepherd. I'm like, don't let Cole
Mm-hmm.
out. And my dad's like, all right. So we all go to bed. I get up. You could probably guess where this is going. I get up. It's probably, I don't know, 8:30, and up over the hill comes this. I can't tell what it is. 8, 9 pointer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is the first time I'm seeing a buck in
Mm-hmm.
daylight while I'm hunting,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming up over the hill, and it's making a rub on a tree, and then goes and beds down 65 yards away from me, right behind a giant maple tree.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have time now. So right, so I'm going through everything in my head. And I'm like, the fundamentals, relax the breathing, the whole 9 yard. I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
in I'm standing now. I'm getting in position. I'm like, at some point, he's gonna he's gonna get up and he's gonna move, and I'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
make my shot. And 5 minutes later, I hear and two doe come running by, full speed, and and then I see the buck stand up and just gone.
Oh
And
no.
oh yeah, and then here comes my dog right to my tree stand. I'm like, man, and I just sat out there after I could hear my father calling him back, way off in the distance. So he runs back, and I just sat in the tree, just like defeated,
Yep.
defeated, absolutely defeated. And then later that evening, I went back out, and he came back down like 20 yards away,
Mm-hmm.
and right, I think I had like 5 minutes left of shooting light, and turned, and I was kind of it was a tough shot, but I knew it was now or never. It was getting too dark to make the
Mm-hmm.
shot, and I was kind of almost like with my tether. I was kind of like a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
parallel to the ground making the shot. It was a little sketchy. Made my shot, heard the thump, and yeah, watched him drop, and get back up, run, dropped, and then I think I ended up pinning his shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he was kind of crawling a little bit. I ended up sending a second arrow
Mm-hmm.
into him, and yeah, that was it. And he ended up dropping right in front of my stand. I mean, 10 feet from my stand.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just again I remember staying up there, and I was trying to think who to call, but I didn't know too many people that hunted. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really know anybody in New York at the time. But yeah, man, I was just so excited. It was the coolest thing, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was definitely the most memorable hunt. And then I was again just I went and got my called my wife. I'm like, hey, I just dropped
Mm-hmm.
just got a buck. She's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, I'm serious. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was just, and we always make the joke. I have a picture of me on the wedding day, and then me next
Mm-hmm.
to my first buck, and I always show that I have a bigger smile on the first buck.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be me too. I guarantee it.
Uh,
Um, yeah, those stories I feel like will stick with you too. It's like the first buck I think is a solid one.
yeah.
So you mentioned tether. Have you saddle hunted from day one, or what all kind of hunting do you do? Like,
No, no. So I mainly just use my climber, but just my
okay,
harness. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. No, I've been. I don't know. I talked to the guy who owns New York Saddle Hunter, I believe his page.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up just running into each other, just in passing. It was very strange, and we
Mm-hmm.
just got talking, and then excuse me, I've heard of his show and stuff, but he tried to tell me to go over there and get me into it. I was explaining to
Mm-hmm.
him how I used to climb cell towers,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean I was used to the harness.
Mm-hmm.
The heights don't bother me, obviously. So I was intrigued to kind of start getting into it. I actually ended up wanting, or excuse me, ended up winning a saddle in a archery
Okay.
competition at my first trade show
Mm-hmm.
ever. I guess the Air
That's cool.
Force was, yeah, yeah. guy who runs Hunt Stock. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he was running a something to do with the Air Force and some kind of like relay where you make a shot, you run 10 yards, you make
Mm-hmm.
two shots, you push like 100-pound sled, and then you do two more
Mm-hmm.
shots, kind of like a little relay, and then it goes time, and then points.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my bow there, and one of the guys came up and goes, "Hey man, you should come and do this." And I shoot once a year, which is it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty bad, but I'll shoot the day before. And I'm like, I haven't even shot since I don't even think I let an arrow fly this year on a buck. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I didn't get anything. Um, and so I'm like, I haven't shot since last year. He's like, oh man, come on. So long story short, I ended up winning this saddle.
Mm-hmm.
I took first. I won this saddle, and it's been hanging up in my garage. And yeah, I haven't got into it. I do like my climber, but maybe one day I'll get in the saddle. I just have so many hobbies right now. I
Mm-hmm.
no time to learn a new one.
You should give it a go for sure.
Yeah,
I saddle hunt most of the time. I have some stands and stuff too, but the climbers are nice, but you kind of have to pick and choose your trees still. Versus the saddle, you can really go around branches and all that pretty easy. So it really makes it a lot more versatile where you can go. So
yeah.
that's what I like about it.
Everybody I've met that saddle hunts is, I mean, you can hear it in their voice. I mean,
Hmm.
they truly believe in the
Oh yeah,
it's 10 times better than climber. So maybe I will give it a shot this year. If I get a little bit
just
more
take it out
time.
some random weeknight and go climb a tree. Like
Yeah, yeah, it's not a
you'll have
bad
to get you
idea.
some sticks, but yeah,
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, I like the concept of it. I think it
Hmm.
makes complete sense. I mainly kind of take my shot from a
Hmm.
standing position anyway.
Hmm.
I think only once I've made a shot from the seated position. So I mean, I know you're not fully standing, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, I guess you're standing. Yeah, I'd say standing, kind of leaning into it. But yeah, man, I'd like to get into saddle hunting. So
Hmm. Yeah,
it does
just
definitely beat carrying a big
yeah.
clunky climber, and then I always, no matter how much I tape my climber up and
Hmm.
do everything, I'm always hitting some sort of metal off of
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I just have my sticks on my bag on the side, and then I have my platform, and then just dangle my saddle around my neck or whatever. Get to the tree, toss it on, and then go straight up. 10, 15 minutes. I'm set up or less, depending. And easy as that. Branches and stuff. You just go around and I feel like it's pretty quick. And then you're not leaving it in the tree. I mean, you're not leaving your climber either, but it's it's pretty versatile and quick in my opinion. And then with a lot of stands, which I know you obviously have a product to help eliminate this, but stands you're hanging off of the tree versus this the tree's in front of you, so you have a little bit more
Right.
cover. So
Yeah. Yeah,
all reasons I love it.
no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, maybe
Mhm.
I'll try to give it a shot this year. Definitely. Yeah, I do like my again, that is one tough part is my climber. I can kind of hook my
Mhm.
because of my little like ball head clamp up to it, and I
Mhm.
just literally they're like coming from one side, I just clip it right to it,
Mhm.
and then I'm kind of covered. So it's
Right.
we'll see. Maybe I'll give it a shot this year. But
Mhm.
I mean, it can strap to the tree too. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, the same concept could be used for it. You could have branches kind of come off of the side of the tree, to
yeah,
shoot through too. So,
yeah, yeah,
because like my thoughts, I self film and everything, so I have the camera arm sticking out and everything. So it could be. I think it could still be very useful.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. I'll definitely give it a. I'll at
Mhm.
least try. I'll take it out and climb a tree for sure.
Yeah, at least do that. It's sitting in
Yeah,
the garage. Why not?
yeah, exactly. I'm sure I'll end up liking it, and
Mhm.
that's almost my fear because that's
Yeah, you just
one
kind of have to
more.
let go and be comfortable with it.
No, I'm
And
saying my fear is
yeah,
that's one more.
no, you liking it and one more
Yeah,
thing to yeah.
one more. Yeah, now I got a whole new set of
Hmm.
you know a whole new set of gear I got to purchase. So,
It's nice
but
and
yeah,
light to bring in though. So
Yeah, and that's what, everybody says. The guy who, one of the guys that, a good friend of mine, kind of helps me out and whatnot, but he's a big saddle hunter, and every time he's
Mhm,
like, "Man, you got to switch a saddle. You got to switch a saddle."
mhm.
And so I'm like, enough people are going to tell me, I'm going to be like, fine, you know what?
You finally, you're like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Let's try it.
exactly. And then I'm going to be totally upset that it's been sitting in my garage for two
Yeah,
years. So
just not being
yeah,
used.
yeah, yeah,
What does your off season look like? Do you get much time? Do you go scout? You said you hunt private mainly.
yeah, yeah. Um, Off season is it's kind of I don't get a whole ton of time to really scout. I kind of scout
Hmm.
maybe the last, I don't know, few weeks before I go in, before our season, probably 3 4 weeks.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll set up my cameras and stuff maybe a month before, maybe
Hmm.
mid August or something. But our season starts October 1st,
Hmm.
for
Yep, ours
archery.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, I really don't get to get out there and do as much scouting as I'd like.
Hmm.
It's unfortunate, but it's a lot of, usually a lot of late nights packing, packing up orders and, kind of
Hmm.
doing the logistics side over here. So it's I really don't get out that much,
Hmm.
even on season, off season anymore. So again, hopefully, fingers crossed, this year I'm able to, find a little bit of help here and able
Hmm.
to get out, do a little bit more. Yeah, man. How about you? What's your you do a lot of scouting?
I try to, and during turkey season and stuff, I'll always have my eyes open for deer sign and everything too. And
Yeah.
then I have the farm, so off season there. Recently, I went down to the farm and we yanked out a bunch of trees. So I have a food plot that's like a quarter of an acre, but
Yep.
it's in an old hay field that's overgrown, and got in there and ripped everything out to expand it into like an acre and a half, and have kind of a design going there where I want to put like a blind in the middle and then kind of have different kind of food type areas around it. So a lot of work there. So when I'm down, between mushroom hunting or whatever time of year it is, I'll kind of keep an eye on signs and everything when I'm out. Um,
Nice. You do mushroom
so
hunting too?
yeah, and
That's
then I will e-scout quite a bit if I can't have boots on the ground.
yeah.
Obviously at this point I've hunted my farm like a whole life with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
break in between, so I genuinely know what areas they're in. My focus there right now is habitat improvement. So I've started cutting trails and, um, like I said, food plot work, trying to just make it better for them. Um, it's surrounded by ag fields and then it's just thick forest. So always trying to improve it and make kind of quality of life better for them there.
Yeah.
Um, then yeah, I mean, scouting wise, I'm always just looking for signs, and like I'll make some trips out there to work on the farm, and then I'll get boots on the ground and kind of look around and everything. So, and then I shed hunt and all that. So,
Yeah, it's awesome. I shed hunting here is it's yeah, I got a buddy who's pretty good at it.
Mhm.
He's a um pretty serious hunter. So I mean that's
Mhm.
his whole, eats, breathes and sleeps hunting. So I mean,
Mhm.
but he finds sheds, but the squirrels here are unreal. So
Yeah.
I mean, the likelihood of, if you're not finding them the day they fall off the bucks, you're
Mhm.
probably never finding them. It's I mean, not even stumbling across one during
Mhm.
that time. They just get them so quickly and they just devour them. So
Yeah, mine definitely have some chew marks in them.
no, yeah,
I feel that. Squirrels everywhere at the farm specifically, but um, yeah, I mean, I would say that's kind of the gist of my scouting. Like, I'll try to boots on the ground as much as possible, and then you just kind of acquire knowledge of where stuff's at and everything over time. I mean, public hunting would be a whole different animal.
Right.
Like I said, I turkey hunt public quite a bit because, like I said, the farm's a little bit out of reach to make trips down there too much. So when I'm out doing that, I'll kind of look around, look for signs, look for deer, look for bedding, um, the works, and have those kind of in the back of my mind if I need to hunt up here instead of down at the farm and everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, um, I haven't hunted a whole lot of public land. There is a
Mm-hmm.
giant, piece of public land right next to the place that I hunt. And, I mean, it sounds like a war zone over there on,
Mm-hmm. I
the
bet.
day, the day they, what is it? Shotgun season first, I think. No, rifle season. Yeah. Day opening, regular season starts
Mm-hmm.
here. It just sounds like, yeah, just,
Yeah,
so
that's
it's,
that's how Iowa is too. Hey,
yeah.
ground fog, how you been?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Iowa is like shotgun season has been the most popular. Everyone does deer drives and stuff, which it'll be interesting to see how that goes this year because there's been a gray area loophole, however you want to word it, where non-residents could buy a doe tag, which you typically don't have to wait, with the point system, and then they'd party hunt with a resident that had an antlered tag. So party hunting, you can fill whoever can fill whatever tags. So they would buy, a doe tag and essentially skip the 5 to 6 year whatever wait, and they would just shoot and fill their friend's antlered tag, whatever. So they crack down, and essentially, I believe it's worded where non-residents can't do that now. So that'll probably be a big dynamic shift.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, there was a big, I went hunting with a buddy this past year out, about 3 hours west of, here. I don't know
mhm,
even the county or the town we were in, middle of nowhere, New York. There's a large Amish population there,
mhm,
and there was actually a big bust, a couple of years ago. I think they pulled 120 deer out of the shed. But yeah, essentially
mhm.
the guy, this place we were hunting on, he's like, that's what they do. The one guy to do the tags, and a lot of loopholes. But yeah, they ended up getting that farm that they were, that the family lived in, ended up getting into, yeah, a whole bunch of trouble there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them here that they don't know property lines and they'll just hunt year round.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So definitely feel that. Um, I guess while we're talking about hunting, what do you have bucket list hunt wise?
Bucket list hunt. I'd love to go elk hunting at some point. I'd love
That's top of
to
mine.
to get out and go elk hunting. Yeah, I can't think of anything I really want to do more than that. That would just that's my dream. That would be awesome
Hmm.
to get experience for sure.
Yep. I started building points for a Wyoming elk hunt, so that's my probably king of the bucket list of attainable hunts. Sure, there's a bunch of things that I'd love to do that aren't as obtainable. Like red stag would be awesome someday to do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be cool.
Um, Africa, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
and like Alaska, brown bear. The list goes
yeah,
on.
yeah. That'd be wild. The New Zealand.
But
What is it? New Zealand for the red
New
stag?
Zealand, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah. It'd
started
be,
building points for Wyoming elk. I want to try doing an over the counter between now and then because that'll probably be 6, 7 years before I can draw there.
right.
Then I drew for a South Dakota mule deer this year. So this fall/winter, I'll be going to South Dakota trying to chase down a muley. That'll be fun. I would
That'll be awesome.
love a bear. Um, that's up there too. But yeah, elk is king of the kind of list right now.
Yeah, and you said you don't have a lot of bear out by you.
We don't have any bear here.
Yeah.
Our
So
predators are like coyotes, bobcats, mountain lion.
yeah, there's been a large bear, sighting increase in the past couple of years here in, this part of New York. Partially it's because people are getting more, cameras and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So there's that aspect of it. But I think there are, the population is growing here. But I'm being from Massachusetts, I'm like right on the border of New York
Mm-hmm.
and Vermont, and being close to Vermont, I mean, we had bear in my,
Mm-hmm.
backyard just about every single night. I mean, I remember walking, up the
Mm-hmm.
hill from school, fourth, fifth grade, and cubs walking out in front of it. I remember my brother going, thinking they were dogs, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden the big mother walks out behind it. So I mean, it was something I always grew up seeing. It wasn't uncommon to walk through the woods and see a bear. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I moved to New York after the Marine Corps with my wife, she's from here, and so I think there was a bear like the town over, and she's like,
Mm-hmm.
did you hear there was a bear over there? I'm like, what it do?
And
And she,
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, well, what, break into somebody's house or something? What it do? And she's like, no, there's a bear over there, and it's not registering as to what's going on, and like, you guys don't have you don't see bear around here? She goes, no, we don't have a lot of bear around here. She goes, I think I've only ever seen one once, and it was just a quick glimpse of one, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. So, but yeah, they're definitely on the rise. Saw a large was coming back from Massachusetts from my parents, a giant
Mm-hmm.
bear, and ripping a U-turn on the highway
Mm-hmm.
to go back to catch it, but he was already gone. Giant black bear, but yeah, they're definitely getting a lot more popular in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I get a bear tag every year, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
see what
I
this year
want to.
brings.
I need to figure out where I want to go. Try hunting one.
Yeah,
Luke, y'all got wolves by you. Not in Iowa yet. Hopefully they stay out of Iowa.
not in New York. A lot of coyote. Coyote season's fun, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not no wolves here. At least that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I know there is like some northeastern timber wolf. I don't know the regions of which they travel. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're closer to Maine, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, no, nothing here in New York. Nothing too
Mm-hmm.
fancy. It's a couple
I went to
bear.
Maine. Went to Maine last year, not for anything hunting wise, but um, I think moose would be cool too one day. But elk is higher up for me, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I think something about an elk. It
Just
just
that,
seems
like
exhilarating.
being out there and the bugling just sounds like bugles half the time through video like give you goosebumps. Imagine just feeling
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. No, that's true, man. Yeah. They get moose. I've grown up. I've seen a few moose growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, get one that come down into town and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy who had a pet moose. He was right on the border of Vermont. Got hit by a
Mm-hmm.
car, and
Mm-hmm.
stayed. He had a farm. He had a small farm, pigs, ducks, all that stuff, and it just ended up
Mm-hmm.
staying in his front yard for I think it was like a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just go out there, you can pet it, and yeah, just I guess maybe what you think about Vermont. Yeah, it's kind of what it was like.
Right.
Yeah, no, moose tag would be pretty cool. I got one of my
Mm-hmm.
old bosses. He goes up to Canada every year, and
Mm-hmm.
got his first moose this year. Excuse me, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe. But that would be pretty good. I'd like to try moose meat. I still have yet to
It's
try any.
delicious.
That's what I hear. I hear it's like super tender steak.
Oh yeah. So like the group that I was with, they probably wouldn't have ate it knowing what it was, but where we were staying, because she knew that I am into all of that and the hunting
Yeah,
and stuff. She got some of it and like cooked a meal, and then everyone ate it and thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And then she told me, she's like, "Hey, you know that was moose, right?" Sweet. So I told them like, "No, it wasn't."
mhm.
But yeah, absolutely delicious.
Yeah, yeah. I don't believe I've tried elk either. So
Elk's good too.
now, if you had to pick, what would you say your favorite is?
Moose.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I hear. I guess it makes more sense. I feel like they're not moving around as much. I mean, yeah, they're
Yeah.
muscular, but they're not. You know. you don't see them too often in the full sprint.
Hmm.
So
Right. Probably pretty scary when you do, honestly.
yeah, I was actually I do have a moose story. I was I went to college in Westfield,
Hmm.
Massachusetts, and Westfield State University. And my roommate and I got our turkey tags, and we went out to go
Hmm.
turkey hunting. And we were walking, and they had this down, almost like where they were getting ready to develop some property, and
Hmm.
permit must have got pulled. And so we were up there, not really knowing. Again, I don't even think there was hunting apps then, so
Hmm.
we weren't sure where we were, if we were on state line or somebody's
Hmm.
property. But we weren't too smart back then either. So
Hmm.
weren't trying to be ignorant, just weren't smart. But
Hmm.
we're walking up on this property, and these giant droppings are on the ground, and I'm like, my roommate's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure, man. Definitely not whitetail, and
Hmm.
doesn't look like bear." So we keep walking, and there's another pile, and I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." So we keep walking, and then all of a sudden, down the hillside, this giant bull comes running down, and him and I sprint over, and we're hiding behind this tree.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm sitting there Googling on my phone. I'm like, what to do when a moose charges? And so I'm like, hey man, it says to stay in like thick trees. And I'm like whispering to him, and I can see this moose. It's like 30 yards away. He's pissed that
Hmm.
we're in his territory. And I'm like, it says to like weave in between trees, like
Hmm.
stay in like the thick part of the
Hmm.
woods. And I'm telling him this, and he's not answering. I happen to look over, and he was gone up the hill.
Oh,
Yeah,
left you.
he left his shotgun there and just sprinted up the hill. So I'm just sitting there for a minute, looking up what to
Hmm.
do if this thing decides to come at us. And yeah, that was I completely forgot about that one. That was a good one. Yeah, but yeah, no, still never had moose meat. I'd love to try moose meat. I hear amazing things about it.
Hmm.
So that and both elk. I'm a big
Yeah.
cook, so big chef.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any favorite recipes for wild game?
I do like venison tacos.
Yeah. Venison
That's
chili
that's
also is delicious.
yeah, venison chili. That's probably my go-to. Taco Tuesday.
Hmm.
There's some ground venison in there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. It's lean. Yeah,
Then
that's
obviously steaks.
yeah, yep. I do a nice. I'll take um, portobello's, chop them up real fine, onion,
Hmm.
garlic, mince all that up, throw it in with some cream cheese,
Hmm.
put it into a ball, roll it all together, and then I butterfly like a back strap,
Hmm.
butterfly it, put it in there, wrap it in bacon, throw it on the smoker. That's my specialty dish. But now
Sounds
I'm getting hungry.
delicious.
Yeah, now I'm getting
Yeah, that's
hungry.
what I was just about to say. I'm gonna be hungry after this, so
Yeah, I was visualizing that, started to salivate a little bit.
I'll make like a brine and let the steak brine for like 24 hours, and it's really good. Because
Man,
some people will complain that it's a drier meat, so you'll throw in a
yeah,
brine, and then it's just super juicy and flavorful.
it's a good idea. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna have to send me over that brine recipe.
of course.
Yeah, no, that's
And
that's awesome. I had
likewise with the bacon and cream cheese one. Yeah.
yeah, I'll absolutely send that over. That's like my favorite. Like Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
I'll always make something. I think I did jalapeno poppers. Yeah, I did
Love me
jalapeno
some jalapeno
poppers.
poppers.
Yeah, I did a strip of I think tenderloin, and like
Hmm.
grilled it up, salt, pepper, just did a nice little sear on it, chopped it up a nice medium rare, threw them in the jalapeno
Hmm.
peppers, wrapped them in bacon again, threw them in the smoker. Yeah, that's another favorite.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. And then, do you mushroom hunt too? I don't remember if you said if you do or don't.
No, no, I wouldn't be opposed getting into it. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, I love mushrooms. I love
I was gonna say if you
yeah.
had morels, they're delicious.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely had them. It's I'm just a big mushroom guy. I
Yeah,
like all
for
kinds of,
sure.
every kind of mushroom. I mean, it's yeah, definitely one of my favorite foods for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to get into mushroom hunting.
Oh yeah, I didn't
I
make it out
just
this year, unfortunately, but
Yeah, I just saw something for some reason. Now it's probably going to pop back up on my Google or on my
mhm.
algorithm. But the glasses for like the morel mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I've been
Um,
seeing those too, fungi
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, and they like turns the
Yeah,
mushroom. It's supposed to like accent the white in
make
the
it
mushroom,
glow or
or
something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just saw them. I'm interested to see if those actually work, or if it's just
Hmm.
you know. But
Just
yeah, no,
cash
I
grabber.
yeah, yeah. I saw a. I don't know if it was a bear. I think it was probably a bear that ate it. What are the chicken of the woods? The orange ones? They're
Um,
is that what it's called? Chicken of the woods?
I don't
Um,
remember what it's called.
yeah, whatever. I can't remember the exact name, but I know it's a very popular mushroom to for
Hmm.
amongst the hunters.
Is it like
But
the
yeah, there
oyster
was
of the woods? I don't
yeah,
know.
that might be it.
There's so many different ones.
Yeah, but I remember I was walking and I was scouting, and there was just bear claws. I mean, I don't know if it was going after the mushrooms or somebody picked
Hmm.
the mushrooms and the bear was just scratching on
Hmm.
that same tree. But there was claw marks, and all the mushrooms you could see were scraped
Hmm.
off. So yeah, I don't know if that's something that bears indulge in, but maybe just this one did.
Right. I mean, I could see it. I think they eat a variety, don't they?
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, I know they eat berries, and
Hmm.
I know deer eat mushroom, and
I was gonna
so
say I know
yeah,
deer will.
yeah. So I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't eat mushrooms.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd like to get into mushroom hunting. That'd be
Hmm.
definitely be I think a fun thing. Now, where do you primarily go? You go up in like pines, or like where do you?
Um, I mean, I feel like I'm most productive around like river bottoms or just like stream bottoms or something.
Okay,
I feel like that's where I've seen the most, usually wet areas for that matter.
right.
And then I'll look for like dead stuff on the ground, like trees and bark and stuff. That's usually where I have the best luck, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's awesome, man. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know too much about the mushroom scene, but
Hmm.
yeah, one of those things I'll definitely hop into one day.
Hmm. Yeah, and like I said, I use it as an opportunity to scout some more and stuff too. And same
Yeah,
with turkey, because
yeah,
like we
yeah,
both said, whitetail's passion. Turkey passes the time, and it's fun trying to learn and get outsmarted by something with a brain the size of a walnut. So,
yeah. Right. Yeah, it's the toughest game of hide and go seek,
hmm,
or Marco Polo, I guess, whatever one
right.
you're combination of both.
So as we're getting closer to the end of our hour and stuff, I want to hear about Ghillepuck and everything. So go ahead, give us your pitch. Tell us what you're about, how maybe you started, or whatever you want to go
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. I'll give you the background. This is actually the very first gilly puck. It's a block of wood that I
Hmm.
cut the sides off and put these threads on, and I had a broken arrow right here that screwed onto it, and then the branch actually went into the broken arrow, and obviously
Okay.
breaking arrows wasn't
Hmm.
sustainable to
No.
to keep doing so. And but yeah, so I started because when I got out of the Marine Corps, I didn't have just got into hunting. I knew I wanted to be in the woods, and I think the first day I came and met my wife. I surprised my wife, and then probably I don't know. I'd say an hour later, went and got my first bow,
Hmm.
and so after that, it was pretty much game over. I was in the woods. I really knew nothing about hunting too much So I just kind of started YouTubing videos. Again, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, so it wasn't too, or not, sorry, excuse me, let me rephrase. I didn't have a lot of friends that hunted growing up.
Hmm.
We were mainly into sports, into that, and during the hunting season, a lot of them. So I always took an interest, and I knew that when I got out of the Corps, that's where I wanted to be. It was just in the woods. And problem was is I was getting blown out every time I'd go in there because I had the climber, and unfortunately, with the
Hmm.
climber and not fully understanding backdrops, I had knowledge from the Marine Corps. My experience in the Marine Corps, and an understanding of that you needed backdrop, and the importance of a backdrop and camouflage. And it doesn't matter
Hmm.
really what you're wearing if you don't blend into your background. um, it's obsolete. You could have the best camo in the world, but if it's against a
Hmm.
blue sky, it doesn't do anything. So after getting skunked my very first year hunting, uh, into my second year, the year I got my first buck, I was behind my in-laws' house. There's a small parcel back there. The neighbor let me hunt on. Again, there's pretty much telephone poles back there for trees. So I'm up there. The doe would come down the hill and be like eye level, and they just blow me
Hmm.
out every single time. And I was like, this is getting old. This is getting frustrating. And then I kind of just was looking around, and I was like, I really have nothing behind me to break up my silhouette. And so I went home, and I went and got like a 2x4, cut it, and just
Hmm.
started, going at it, and made this thing right here. And then I ended up screwing it to the back of the tree behind me, and went up there. I think it was the following weekend. Twist the branches on, and I had a different, doe and two fawns I'd never seen before come down. And it walked right past me for like the first time, and I was like, "Wow!" I'm like, "This might be something." And so then a couple more doe come down, walked right past me, and I was like, "All right, so there's definitely something here." And then
Something to this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, shortly after, yeah, that was when I got my first buck, and then I was actually lucky enough to get two bucks within, I believe, a week of each other.
Hmm.
So that was, yeah, 2 bucks and a doe, my second year. So that's when I was like, you know what, this is something I can make that's gonna potentially help others in my
Hmm.
situation. So I started going through the patent process and everything, and it's evolved from this to what is now, you know, this right here. So
A
it's
little bit
much
of a size
lighter.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a size difference. You can actually strap this one. You can hook it onto
Hmm.
anything. So I definitely wanted to make it so people that were in my situation, they could go out, and they could have that hunt, and they could get that, have the same feeling I did the day that I
Hmm.
got my buck. Like I said, it was kind of a rough time. Not trying to do everything on my own, not really having too many people to call to figure
Hmm.
out what I was doing wrong and stuff like that. So yeah, I made this in hopes that somebody can go out and enjoy their time in the woods, and get all of the benefits of hunting and being in nature, and yeah, their first harvest. Like I said, if somebody is nervous to get into hunting, and it's a confidence booster for them, whatever they can use
Hmm.
this as to help them. Or maybe it's somebody who's a tenured hunter, and they want to get just a little bit closer to that bedding area, or a little bit closer to that food plot, but that cover just isn't there. That's why I designed this, and I'm hoping that if it helps somebody get a deer, a little bit quicker, or it makes an experience a little bit more memorable. Maybe there's a father and a son that goes out. The son, tends to move around a little bit, and
Hmm.
this provides like just enough coverage that they don't get blown out, and maybe they get their first deer together and they're able to share that memory. Those are the thoughts that are going through my head when I was creating this. So yeah, I really it has been super beneficial for me, and from others is from the feedback that I get, and so I really want to, that's what I plan on doing, and making this as universal and beneficial as possible.
Right. Awesome. Love to hear that. And I think I
Yeah,
had said a while back something cool. So you have your tripod mount. There's a way to kind of double layer that specific. I don't know how to word that, but um, so like
yeah,
self filming. Having your Ghillepuck mount and then like a mount on top, kind of to mount the camera or the flood head for self filming. So you could essentially fan around the camera without obstructing view.
yeah,
So
yeah.
pretty cool.
And the tripod that I came up with, it's got the, as you can see,
Hmm.
the 3-inch spike. So
Hmm.
it's actually it's more or less meant to be used as like a monopod
Yeah.
with stabilizers, kind of,
Hmm.
is,
Right.
because these aren't too long, so it's not going to give you the crazy benefits. But
Hmm.
I wanted something very compact and very, if I ever wanted to just drop this and just use it strictly as um, a monopod, just
Hmm.
quickly bring this out there, slam it into the ground,
Right.
especially for turkey hunting, because
Hmm.
just being able to kind of run and gun with this, and just having this in your pack, with the puck attached to it.
Hmm.
It was yeah, it was kind of definitely a goal of mine to create, and to have people be able to enjoy it. Or if you're coming down, I mean, this thing weighs, I think, a pound and a quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And so be
Hmm.
able to just attach this to my backpack, and then take it if I want to go on the move. I just unclip my ghillie puck from my stand,
Hmm.
bring it down, and now I can kind of set up on the ground anywhere. And
Can
I have a
you
portable blind.
can you easily throw your branch attachments on that and show them, or at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
one?
yeah, absolutely. So this is what the inside of the branch looks like. It's got the twist lock connectors on it, so it simply just goes like this, quarter turn, and it gets completely locked on,
Hmm.
and that's what it looks
And then
like.
you
So I
have
mean, it
different
takes.
branch options and stuff for different seasons, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we have over, I believe, 14 now, different branches and styles and color. Oak being our biggest selection,
Hmm.
and and a lot of them have like kind of the dual tones to both sides of them.
Hmm.
So earlier spring,
Love that breakup.
yeah, earlier I like to use, like, the back side of the oak green.
Hmm.
A little bit later, or actually, yeah, late summer, early fall, October 1st, I'm probably running, this side of it. Where
Hmm.
again, springtime, I'm running this side. Same with this wintertime, snow on the ground, I'm running this color. Uh, Late fall, I'm running this. So it's like they're all, yeah, they're 14 different styles. We have maples and
Hmm.
oaks are definitely the two biggest, but we have pine, we have Douglas fir. I mean, we have a whole variety of them, walnuts. So
Hmm.
it's it really. I've tried to design something to blend into any season and any setting. Like I said, the more options that I can create for people, feel free to
Hmm.
give me any any suggestions as to what you'd
Hmm.
like to see, and I'll try to make it happen, and get that out for you.
For sure. What does Is there kind of a general pricing to get started? Like what's a kit run?
Yeah, so a kit runs generally. I mean, we try to run sales, for every major holiday, but it's usually right around 150.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to come with everything you need to hang it from the tree stand to the ground to whatever you need. So it's going to come with your puck, the center system, all the connectors. It's going to come with 12 branches, the center limb system, which goes on the front of this, twists on, and allows you to have a little bit more coverage in the front. So, four of these would go through there,
Mm-hmm.
eight around the puck. So you're totally covered from the front. You can hang it, you can strap it behind you so you can use it as a backdrop. You can use it in the foreground. Um, yeah, it's designed to be used however creative that you can be with it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of why also I designed it like this is, I really wanted to inspire people to excuse me, get creative with it. It can hook up to anything with a quarter 20 thread. So if there is any camera mount accessory that
Mm-hmm.
you carry with you, and I know there's a lot of self filmers in the industry, so that's also something I was keeping in mind when coming up with this is that if there's a specific mount that you prefer, um, I don't want you to have to go out and buy something else. I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
monopolize and have you buy all my mounts and everything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to create something that you could take in the woods that's going to give you that just a little bit of advantage. And this isn't the end all be all. This isn't the
Mm-hmm.
magic cure. You're not going to buy this, go out and get the biggest buck in the world. It's to be used just like a scent blocker.
Another
um,
tool for the toolbox.
that's it, man. Just another tool for the toolbox. Like I said, if it can get you uh, a buck maybe an hour earlier, or it can get you that one memory, and you can get home to your family an hour sooner, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like that's why I came up with this, and that's why I don't mind sacrificing a good portion of my hunting season. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, it's been quite the journey with it.
You said you run sales. Do you have a Memorial Day weekend sale?
Yeah, yeah. So we are going to be posting our Memorial Day weekend sale tomorrow at noon. So that'll be our biggest. This will be the biggest sale until I believe September. So this is going to be yeah, this will be our biggest sale, and that'll be posted tomorrow at noon.
Perfect. Where can everyone find you? Piggybacking off of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're on all social media at Ghillepuck. Um, you can go to ghillepuck.com, and yeah, we're Ghillepuck.
There we go. So thank you for joining. Kind of at our time there. I feel like it's a good stopping point. So this is live streamed to most of our platforms, and then this will continue to live in video format on our YouTube, and then this will go in audio format and it'll go out into podcast land. So your Apple, Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify, uh, the works. So if you haven't yet, you should definitely go leave us a 5-star review on Spotify for the podcast. That's incredibly helpful trying to push farther into the algorithm. So be sure to give Ghillepuck a follow across platforms. And then if you haven't already, if you're living under a rock, be sure to follow Veganless as well. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great one. Thanks again, Rob.